Brother Dick is recording.
Well, I never thought I would see a movie that made Cannibal Holocaust seem like an Oscar winner. Then I watched Avatar.
Oh. You know, I thought it was good.
What, this or Avatar?
You'll never know.
I know. As if I didn't lose sleep to begin with. I'm gonna be like, which movie did Ray find better?
Am I even talking about a movie? We'll never know. No joking. So.
Fair enough. Anyways, what's up, y'all? Boogie Night here. Welcome back to another movie review. I'm joined, as always, by the fantastic Rage Queen herself, Ray. What's up?
I'm good. How about you?
Doing okay. It's a Sunday night. It's weird. I actually got some recording done.
Well, I'm starving, and you're keeping me and my precious time. So, no joking.
I hear you yapping.
Oh, somebody wants to get strangled.
Well, I don't sleep anyway, so I'm just gonna think you're just gonna strangle me in my sleep.
Luckily, you have a lot of neck, so it's gonna be easy.
I'm gonna just tuck myself into my shirt a little bit.
So yeah, okay.
So this was a notable departure from the usual trash that I subject you to, because you subjected me to this one. This was like a flip-flop of the tables.
Well, I figured we needed a break from Christian crap, so and Sharknado is like an instant classic. Like the minute it was already a hit before it even came out because it was meant to be. It was always meant to be a classic.
I mean, yeah. First of all, Asylum is one of those companies. I mean, all their movies are pretty much direct to shitio. So, I mean, you know the caliber of movie you're going to get yourself into when you see the big opening montage saying Asylum Films.
Sorry.
This movie was garbage for all the right reasons, as opposed to God's Not Dead, which is for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, no, God's Not Dead just pissed me off, but Sharknado was actually a lot of fun because it's meant to be like crappy. It's like a joke. It's like its own joke. How do they say it? It's a joke. It's a parody of itself. There we go.
There you go. Well, I mean, you see movies like this, and you think of movies that Charlie Kaufman has done, like Toxic Avenger, Sergeant Kabuki Man. You just know you're getting yourself into a horrible movie. And this is from the same company that did Mega Shark versus Crocosaurus. What was that movie you'd send me earlier, the link? Was it Raptor something or other?
Velocipaster.
That was it. When you said that to me, I squeaked so loudly like a pack of dogs ran up the driveway.
I literally was on Facebook and someone posted that, and I was like, oh shit, we need to review this. I'm like, this is gonna be a movie we need to watch.
This is just like the two extreme shows. We either watch really horrible religious movies or we watch just trash movies. This is the future ship of our partnership.
I am going to see if they even have it.
Oh my god. It's funny because I saw there was...
Oh my god, I do!
Where, on Amazon?
Yeah, Prime covers it. Oh, hell yeah.
Dude, we are all over that. Like a shark on a boat.
So after losing his parents, a priest travels to China where he inherits a mysterious ability that allows him to turn into a dinosaur.
This is like a ripoff of Sergeant Kabuki Man for like pretty much the exact same concept.
Listen to this. At first, horrified by his new power, a prostitute convinces him to use his powers to fight crime and ninjas. What the fuck is this movie even?
Oh my god, I want to know what drugs these producers were on.
Oh, there's so many like low budget movies we could watch. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to check that one out.
We're gonna just have like a all-night movie party at some point in the future.
Hey.
Oh god. You can tell what type of movie review this is going to be because we're just spending half the time talking about other movies we want to watch.
Let's get back into it.
Yes. I guess the first thing that really stuck out for me right out of the beginning was just like the absolute pure crap of the cinematography. Like, you just knew that the editors were taking bits and pieces from pre-rendered things.
Well, like most sci-fi movies, the freaking CGI is worse quality than a PlayStation 1 game, so
Oh my god.
like
Would
it's
you
like
imagine to see like the first characters like on tank controls, like they have to slowly spin around and go in a different direction?
oh, I'm so tired tonight.
Like like Russian fisherman, it's before he shoots the other guy, he has to like do a 90-degree spin to follow him.
well, like speaking of the cinematography though, like it was very, very basic. Like like this is the stuff they teach you not to do in college, and they did it. They took the basic shots. Like there was nothing, because you know, so, like really good directors, they could like for example, of Mice and Men, the movie, the director had a horse in the background of Lenny.
I'm trying not to laugh, but I just think about when I texted you earlier about Mice and Men.
He doesn't need to know.
No.
But he probably doesn't watch the video. No, but anyways, like in the background they had
Christ for small favors.
well, in the background of Mice and Men, they had a horse behind Lenny and had his face obscured in shadow. Like they had metaphors for how his mind works. But in this movie, it was just, hey, stand over there and look scared. That's all they did.
And I love how, like, in certain scenes in the movie, you had the main character, like, say, for example, he was standing in the foreground on the left side, and then maybe half a second later, for whatever, he's in the far background on the right side of the screen. Same scene, same setting, just different. It was like he was teleporting back and forth like a bad kung fu movie.
It's like when movies edit the wrong parts in chronologically, and it's like a character died, but in the next scene we see them in the background, but then in the next scene they're dead again.
Oh yeah, no, that was famous in when Mystery Science Theater 3000 did Space Mutiny. I mean, it was pretty much the exact same concept, but like even the silly little things, like when the ship was in the middle of the pitched gun battle in the beginning between Russian and a businessman or whatever the hell that character's was. I mean, and once again, this movie made no sense, but like, and then it cuts to the ship at, like tilting at a 45-degree angle, and this obviously overly produced CGI effect.
You know, I just realized something. I don't think they ever explained it, did they?
No, they didn't.
It was just a random like water tornado with sharks in it, but they never explained how it started or why. It just happened.
Because the plot said so.
Right.
We're going to be saying that a lot during the course of the review, because that's the only way we can describe anything happening during the course is because the plot said so. But this is like a 5-minute exposition dump regarding illegal shark poachers, and then it cuts to the actual movie. And just the other effects and whatnot, like the gigantic tour of the funnel spinning around with the sharks going all over the place like it's a fucking Alan Wake game gone to hell.
It was worse than a PlayStation 1 game, I'm telling you, because like PlayStation 1 had some really bad like cinema.
I know what you mean. Angles.
No, well, yeah, they just had really bad CGI, but this one was worse than a PlayStation 1 game because it was like something straight out of the fucking 90s. You know, it was horrible.
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah, but you didn't have the atmosphere of a horror movie from the 90s.
But I feel like at the same time, though, this movie was meant to be this campy. Like, I think it was meant to be so bad. That's why the director was like, let's get the worst, worst graphics possible, and we'll call it a movie. And it worked because it's a hit. The whole series is a hit, and it's funny.
You know, now that I think about it, do you even recall seeing any moving shots of the camera, or was it just straight up like still shots?
Yeah, it was all still shots.
Like, I don't recall seeing any kind of movement of a camera, so there was no evidence of like maybe like they had a steady cam or a wheelchair that they could push along, kind of like the horse concept, like you just said from Mice and Men. I think it was pretty much just nothing but just still shots all over the place, and maybe occasionally the camera would zoom out or zoom in, but
yeah, I think there might have been like maybe one or two very minor scenes where it was like, I don't know, because like I feel like that scene where they were parked and the water was like coming over and like sharks were like attacking. I feel like there was maybe like one there, but I can't remember. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I honestly don't recall it. I mean, it almost reminds me going back to our movie reviews, I mean, it almost reminds you a little bit of Kirk Cameron.
Yeah, except Kirk Cameron had a lot more action in it.
Once again, wouldn't you just love to see Uncle Bill in this movie?
Oh God, gotta have
Like
that
he's just like there in the back seat the entire time
with his mug.
with his mug, and he's just sitting there the whole time, and all the characters keep forgetting about him.
There's a guy on Superstore. I forgot what his name is, but like he's like this old Asian man, and every time I see him, I think he looks like Uncle Bill because he has the same look. He just doesn't have the mug. I'll just show you a picture of him later.
Oh my god, yeah, you gotta send that to me. But like the cinematography, I mean, can easily be overlooked by how crappy it is. But when you look at like the sheer static and like paper thin quality of all of the characters, no one was as memorable except Shotgun Chick.
She was annoying. Like she didn't. She acted all big and badass with the shotgun, and she only used it twice.
Seriously.
Most of the time, though, she used it just to like as a melee weapon. It's just like bam, bam. She let someone die because she didn't shoot it. Because I was thinking,
Once again, this is like the old harm video games. Like you run out of ammo, so you got to use it as a melee weapon so you can stock up on more.
yeah, but she and then after that, because I thought maybe she ran out of bullets and we didn't see that for some reason, like we missed it. But then when she used it afterwards, I was like, wait. So you let a guy get eaten because you were too busy beating the shark with a fucking gun? Seriously, lady? God.
I mean, okay, so Finn, the main character, as you called him, Ben for the longest time.
I thought she was screaming Ben. Okay.
Well, it is Tara Reid we're talking about here. When you really can't understand what she's saying to begin with.
Fuck. Speaking of Tara Reid, I just love how much like energy she put into screaming. That fucking neck vein literally popped out every time she screamed Finn. Like she was really trying her hardest.
I thought, did you think she was like gonna have a stroke at one point?
I felt like she was probably kind of like the drugs are gonna wear off, and she's gonna be like, "What am I doing? I would never make a movie like this." But no,
she got roofied into being in this movie.
She just always looks so lost and confused. Like she was really studying everything, you know. Especially at the end when her son is like risking his life, she's just like,
"Oh my god, yeah, I know." And she was like doing the George W. Bush squint when he thinks he says something profound during one of his speeches.
Anyway,
I mean, none of the characters were memorable to begin with. Finn, you know, his backstory was never explained. He just had this bar on California Beach, and he was telling war stories with his buddy, the crazy Australian who, it's like you were hoping there was some kind of backstory, like they were in the military, or maybe they were kicked out of school together, something that gave them this camaraderie that would make them at least tolerable.
Yeah, because they were just best friends. It's a sci-fi movie. It's because the plot said so.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's not the horror, but like the movie buff in me wants to see something that solidifies these characters. It's just a knee-jerk reaction. Like, give me something that makes this character a human instead of just this shell.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there really wasn't much backstory because it was like once the movie started, it was just, hey, these three people run a restaurant, and then oh my god, there's a shark attack, and the next minute they're back at the bar having a good time again, and then it's like,
yeah,
a shark attack.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, for opening scene. I mean, they're at the bar, Shotgun Girl's getting hit on by David Hurd, playing his usual element of drunk and perverted.
He fucking grabbed her, like, and she was like, hee, don't do that again. You're silly.
Seriously.
Like, you fucking grab me there again, I'm gonna fucking knock you the fuck out.
I mean, I'm used to seeing David Hurd make an ass of himself in movies and TV shows. That's just the role that he plays. But like in this one in particular, and she just brushes it off. I mean, if this was like reality, there'd be middle fingers all over the place, and like cops and missing limbs, and ripping his balls off like a paper towel.
If an old man, like, I mean, even if you guys are really good friends, because yeah, sometimes people have friendships where they flirt. I mean, that's a thing, like yeah. It's like workplace flirting, but never in a million years would you actually grab someone's ass and squeeze it and call it a joke. That's like flat out sexual harassment.
Yeah. And what was the point, once again, what's the point of Australian guy other than the fact that you keep trying to one-up Finn and failing miserably?
Diversity, because Australians. No joking.
Well, I mean, there was no whitewashing in this movie.
True, but I mean, there wasn't.
You had.
Well, it was whitewashed. There wasn't a single like black or Chinese or anything character, you know.
Well, no. The businessman from the opening cutscene for the opening scene. You know, it was in the gun battle that had nothing to do with the rest of the movie.
And I suppose it was charity that they let Tara Reid act too.
They had to kind of get their quota fill from the unions, I think.
I don't know. I thought Australian guy was really. His one-liners were so awful. Like he was trying to be like the cool, relatable guy. Well, because like I don't know, because it's like very stereotypically. There's always like the leader, the guy who's in charge. He's super serious about the job, and then he has like this like witty sidekick guy who's always got a joke. But it was like he did it so wrong, and he thought he was so cool, and it was annoying. And honestly, the accent didn't really help either. He was just. He was like I thought maybe they were trying to like make him cool or something because he was Australian, but he was just annoying.
Well, this whole movie had like a frat house vibe thing going on with it.
All the characters were the same age.
Yeah, it just had this kind of fratty, like, what are we gonna do? We're gonna rebuild the bar, bro.
Shocker, bro.
Seriously, like if somebody said nah, brah during the course of the movie, I'd been like, well, this movie's done.
Dude, there's a shark tornado, bro.
It's a fucking sweet Sharknado, bro. I'm gonna fucking take some selfies next, and maybe I'll get banged hardcore by the ladies, bro.
Yeah, you do it way better than I do. I can't do dude bros to save my life. I can't even do girly girls to save my life. But anyways.
I still want to just scream Finn at the top of your lungs.
Finn!
Yeah, you get your neck muscles aren't popping out.
Every time I think about that scene, I think about that really huge neck vein that popped out of her throat. She was screaming so hard. She was trying to scream hard.
She was just trying her hard. I mean, I give Tara Reid like the try hard award for this movie.
Well, and the way her eyes were, and like the way her head was tilted, she was like, Finn!
Seriously.
Forehead vein popping out. She's like fucking trying to squeeze out a turd.
Well, she had a lot of shark meat beforehand.
Anyways, are we talking about plot or what?
Well, we always do. I'm just trying to get the characters out of the way, just because, like, you know, there's Shotgun Girl, and then Drunken David Hurd, whose whole point there was to just make an ass of himself for like the first 20 minutes of the movie.
He also just stood there and let himself die. Like he went running. And they're like, "What are you doing? Come back!" And then he just kind of like looks up, and then like next to there's water coming out in a shark. He just screams, and it's like, "Why did you kill yourself for, dude?"
Yeah, well, I mean, that was the part around where she's trying to rescue the dog, but
yeah, but he just I don't know. So okay, so then there was that. There's Tara Reid, and then there was her daughter
her daughter.
She didn't really serve a purpose in that movie, did she?
None of the kids had any purpose in the movie. You had Finn's daughter, you had the other kids that were never explained how they came into existence.
Which one's the school bus?
No, not the school kids, but I'm the other son, the one who piloted the chopper with Shotgun Girl.
Yeah, okay, so then they had a son. Well, the daughter was just a pointless character. She did nothing, and she was not memorable in the slightest.
I wanted to slap her so hard in the middle of they're trying to rectify the situation. She's like, I don't ever want to be friends with you.
Oh, I know! Okay, yeah, no, we get it. You have a bad relationship with your dad, but in times of crisis, I'm pretty sure people can put their differences aside, and she's being a little bitch by saying, I don't want anything. And he was saving her, too. He went to their house to save her. And she doesn't want to be your friend. Like,
and her little douchebag of an ex-boyfriend who I'm glad got his balls ripped off.
Seriously. But then the son comes out of nowhere. Like, he was there the whole time. And then he just happened to be a pilot. And it's like, it was such a misplaced movie where all the characters were introduced in the wrong ways possible.
A little too much like The Matrix. Like, hey, can you pilot this chopper? In a moment.
Oh,
Um,
and then I like the relationship between the shotgun girl and then Finn because it was really heavily applied that they were into each other. And then
yeah.
the second the son is introduced, she goes, "Oh, hey, what's your name?" And then
Seriously, it was this
Finn,
big whiplash from like, oh, Finn's such a good boy, blah 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 blah, all cutesy and whatnot, like this thrown together by war, and all of a sudden, no, you doing?
and then yeah, and then Finn and Tariq get back together, even though she said she hates his guts too. And it's like she didn't even cry when her boyfriend got killed.
I mean, I've seen the end of Speed. I know what happens when Keanu Reeves hooks up with the chick at the end of Speed. I mean, same circumstances, just different extremes, but still.
Seems like every movie nowadays, like if there's a male and female lead, they have to be together. Like I want
Yeah.
to see, like there's no movies where they're just like really good friends. Like maybe she's gay and she doesn't like men, but they can still be friends. They just survived something traumatic together.
Yeah, just they could reopen the bar together.
Yeah, you don't always have to have a romantic relationship. You don't have to have romantic relationships.
But then
Anyways,
again, it is the asylum,
yeah, I'm
and the
really hungry
plot
for a
does
sandwich.
say so.
I'm
But
really hungry for a sandwich.
all right, okay,
You
so
keep cutting me off. I'm joking.
all right, so yeah, shark sandwich.
No, okay, so anyways, since I think we've introduced all the characters by now.
Yeah.
I really want to talk about the beginning because that part was or not the very beginning, but my favorite part was when there was a fucking shark attack on the beach.
Oh,
Okay.
you mean with the jet skis and the sea-doos instead of
Yeah,
surfboards?
dude. Yeah, so people were dying. Okay, so the sharks were literally like swimming to the beach, and for some reason, Australian guy was like out in the middle of nowhere, but they all went past him and fucking started eating people on the beach. There were people screaming and dying and body parts all over.
And
And
there's
then
the
what
one lone girl, like there was like no more than six, like just staring out into the water, with, like blank stare on her face, expression on her face. Like she's like, "What do I do now?"
But the part I'm trying to get to is that despite all this, the very next moment they just go back to the bar and like nothing happened.
Seriously, like it's like they filmed the bar scene thinking this was going to be the lead up to the shark attack, and then
Yeah.
thought last, let's just flip it.
Well, it's funny because like there was this shark attack and people were fucking screaming and it was like a catastrophe. And then they go to the bar scene and they're all happy.
Like
And then the
blood
shark,
all over the place. Like there's blood all
yeah.
over the sand. Like body parts and limbs are strewn all over the beach like it's a fucking black metal concert.
And then yeah, and then they go back to the bar and they're all like happy. And then all of a sudden they're like they knew the weather was coming. Like they knew it was coming, like changing. And they still stayed around until the very last minute when they're they fucking brushed off one attack and then like goldfish with 2-second memory. They went back to the bar to be attacked again.
Well, they got to have their victory shots in.
Just so stupid how fast they turned around. It's like ridiculous.
Oh, hang on, bro. Before we go running for our lives, I need you a shot of Jaeger, bro.
Yeah, and then like freaking is that the same scene where he grabbed her too? I think no,
Yeah, that was right around the same time as the actual shark scene itself. Like when they were introducing the other characters, and drunk David Hurd was lying there in the bar stool telling regaling stories about his youth.
Yes, I can't remember, but I just think I still think that's like the funniest thing about this movie is the fact that everybody was fucking panicking and screaming at the shark attacks, but then they just go and have a drink like nothing happened and then get
The juxtaposition of every scene in this movie was just so awkward.
yeah, dude,
Like, and then when the windows break and the wind comes flying in and people are running for their lives, and then they're standing outside looking, even though it was pouring down rain like tsunami monsoon condition. Next thing you know, the sun is shining down from heaven, and they're standing there like the scene out of the fucking Lion King, just staring at the ruins of the bar. And they're like, "Well, we'll get it back someday. I'm thirsty. I need a drink."
that's the thing about the movie. If you pay attention, like it's supposed to be the whole city. It's supposed to be all of Los Angeles that's under this weather attack. And there are so many shots where it's like sunny outside and not even it's like clear skies. And then other shots it's like rainy and stuff. And there was even a scene where they were at the very end where they were taking out the Sharknadoes.
Yeah.
Or it showed the Sharknado in the city, but down below in the streets, you could still see cars driving up the road like nothing was happening.
Yeah, I saw that. Like, what is going on? I mean, I get it. It's California. There are a bunch of weirdos out there, but still.
Like driving as if nothing's happening, and I think they forgot to edit that part out because it was like it was driving. They were driving right into the Sharknado. They didn't even explain it. It was just,
Oh, this CGI sucks.
so yeah, that was pretty funny.
That would, yeah. When you pointed that out to me, I almost lost it. I was dying so hard. But like this movie is just hard to keep up with because it was so busy for all the wrong reasons.
But it was like after they saved the Tara Reid, and her
The Tara
daughter.
Reid. She's got a
The
title.
Tara Reid. Like when they saved them, it was rainy and like the streets were flooded and shit. But then when they rescued the school kids, it was sunny. And then when they went to their son's pilot place, it was sunny. But then it was rainy.
Yeah.
And then wasn't there a scene where like they were looking up into like Los Angeles in the distance and it was like fire and shit? Like it
Yeah, like at the very end when all of a sudden, I mean, it's like Escape from LA, like Kurt Russell's about to pop out.
it looked like the fucking apocalypse scene from Terminator 2.
Yes.
It was like steaming and like red tinted and everything, but all that happened was there was a fucking rainstorm.
Seriously, like it just from rain to sun to clouds to wind. I mean, it was just all just hastily put together, but I mean, it was hilarious at the same time.
I think the best way to end a Sharknado movie is to nuke it. Like, because I mean, our brilliant president had the same thought, like let's nuke it, and it worked.
It's
Like,
gonna be huge. Huge.
No, but seriously, the fact that they
I hate that man.
Don't get me started. The fact that they destroyed a tornado with a bomb is hysterical.
Oh, I know. I mean, they try and get to higher ground so Finn can get to his daughter and, the Tara Reid, apparently, because apparently she's knighted now. And there's that scene where, like, they're driving through an alleyway like it's something out of the Italian Job. And people are like, what are you driving from? Slow down, man. Everything's cool, man. We're just going to hide out here. Like, seriously, like, did you think there was going to be, like, a gang war about ready to get started in that one part because they were trying to get through the alleyways and the back alleys of the city, and everyone's, like, wondering, what are you doing, man?
No, I don't think anybody knew what was going on in that movie because it was, like, 1 minute they were on point A, and then they were on point C, and then it was point Z, F, X. It was very misplaced. And you know what's an even really random a really random thing they inserted was the school bus of kids.
I was just thinking, yeah, and like stoner bus driver who was kind of like Otto from The Simpsons.
No, he was creepier than Otto. Like, he was definitely the kind of guy you don't want driving your kids to school.
I kind of wish there was somebody modeling himself after Otto. Hey, Finn, man, you want to help me raise the school bus, man?
You did that really, really well.
Those guitars that are like double guitars,
Otto is cool.
Well,
Otto's
yeah.
Cool. This guy was a fucking creep, just flat out a creep.
Like, he didn't pass his background check.
Yeah, not really.
But yeah, what was the point of rescuing the kids other than the fact to show off Finn's massive muscles? There was nothing to do with the point of the whole movie.
Well, what really irked me though, is like they showed multiple times sharks leaping to eat people, but when Finn was like at the back of the bus, the water was like right like inches from his feet.
Yeah.
No shark jumped out to get him. It was just it was like logically, if I was expecting him to get eaten too.
Oh yeah, same here.
But like, how come everyone else, a shark can jump out of the boat and eat them, but when he's like feet from the water, it's like nothing.
Nope, nothing at all. I mean, you know what this movie kind of feels like? It feels like they were trying to make an RPG. Like the main quest was to get to Tara Reid, and there were a million different side quests between at point A and point B.
Well, dude, also at the same time, didn't a shark like jump out of the water and take a helicopter down?
Yeah, like it kamikazed itself to take down another helicopter, but apparently it was okay with Finn.
Yeah, so how come Finn got lucky when he was literally like feet from the water, like centimeters from the water? He could have like literally dipped his toes in, and he didn't get attacked. But fucking, fucking shark and leap out and got a helicopter.
I did love that part when the helicopter got kamikaze by a shark. That scene was brilliant.
Or when Shark, the brunette girl with the shotgun, falls out the helicopter and just gets eaten as she like as one.
Oh yeah, seriously. Like it was hilarious. It was like Space Invaders.
just yeah, like you see the little silhouette, and she's all screaming like ah. No,
Just grabs her
as he's flying by.
Just in passing, like it's just casual. Like, hey, buddy.
So casual, just like oh look, it freaked me off. And you know what really pissed me off is like I'm such an analytical person that logically, if there ever was a Sharknado and you somehow well, for one, tornadoes aren't a permanent thing. Eventually, they stop spinning.
Eventually, the wind power runs out. That's basic physics.
Well, don't tell that to Trump or this movie, for example. But anyways,
not even let that rock.
Well, hypothetically, though, when the tornado stops, all the sharks go falling down. And they are large creatures that will freaking pretty much explode upon impact, depending on
I was just thinking, like it just would be like just this explosion, like this blood tidal wave cruising through the streets, like it's the running of the bulls.
All of LA would be like literally like one big carcass fest of sharks. But I love how in the movie though, there were like at least 2 sharks that when they hit, they like exploded.
Yeah.
But for the rest, like there's this one character like where a shark just kind of like fell in front of them and then it just like started like eating them.
Seriously, like it literally started eating. Well, and like first of all, they can't process oxygen on land.
No.
The biologist in me was just like, okay, this is no. Secondly, it should have exploded like you said. Instead, the thing's bouncing around like a Jack Russell Terrier still trying to eat people.
So how come certain sharks blow up when they hit like, well, not blow up, but like they just splatter, and other sharks just start numbing, like, yeah.
Because the plot said so. Darwin was spinning in his grave so fast, you probably was reversing the polarity of the Earth watching this fucking thing.
Well, and plus, you're right. Like a shark can't breathe in land, so like hypothetically, if they survive the fall, they'll be suffocating. They're not going to eat, and that's another thing. Sharks don't like humans. Like every time. I mean, when there's shark attacks, it's mostly purely on accident because they don't like to be humans.
They smell blood because that's their predator senses, so they think it's an injured sea animal. If it just happens to be a human, it's an isolated case. Yes, there is documentation that humans have been attacked by sharks, but it's strictly been circumstantial. Maybe they've been near their young, maybe that they've been near its breeding season. I mean, I've been scuba diving during barracuda mating season, and it's frightening.
Well, it's like fucking even with people who've been attacked, usually it's just a bite or like I mean, there's people who've had some really serious attacks, but most of the time they've survived. I mean, shark attacks happen; they do happen. I'm not denying that, but it's like I don't think they don't want to eat a human being because we're not on their menu.
Yeah, it's not part of their dietary consumption. The amount of calcium in a human bone compared to, say, another mammal or a fish is much more. They would have issues digesting them. And it's not like they're just going to puke it up like an owl pellet.
No, they fucking love seal, dude. That seal is like fucking, that is like good shit to them.
They get their fix on that shit.
But yeah, and that just...
Well, Tara Reid is kind of like a seal in her own right in this movie.
I would say seals have more intelligence because at least they can honk horns when they're told to.
Yeah, but I mean, Finn could honk her horn anytime he wanted. I mean, she is his ex-wife. Oh.
Did you see her horns? They were kind of flabby, I'm just saying.
Well, that wouldn't have stopped David Hurd.
I'm going to end this call. Joking. No, but seriously, like, it really irritates me how, like, sci-fi movie, like, every shark movie, it's always about sharks eating humans, but they don't like humans though. Like, and plus we're swimming in their territory.
Yeah.
You know? Like, why I could go into it with you, but yeah, they don't like
I mean, I'll do one more correlation is how wolves, for the longest time, wolves have a bad rap of being attacking humans, attacking human civilizations, dragging their children off. There has never been one documented case of a child being dragged off by the wolves. Wolves have attacked humans in the past, but it's been strictly defensive because humans have come into the pack's territory. It is never under any circumstance where a person is just wandering along, minding their own business, and they get mauled.
Yeah, I think Hollywood and Hollywood wannabes just don't get that concept, and I think that's why a lot of people are modern. I think a lot of people are stupid because they watch a movie and they're just like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna be attacked by a flower because the movie told me to."
This movie.
Tomatoes, killer tomatoes from space.
Yes.
Or
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes from space or something. That's a good one.
Or even The Happening. I mean, come on.
Well, Tomatoes is funnier because like there's this one scene where this chick is like literally like she was eating something. I think the rapper even said like steroids.
Yes.
She's like eating it, like looking around like a dog trying to protect its territory, and then all of a sudden she's like you just see like these like red balls being thrown at her, and she's like it's like dodgeball, but she's like attacking them, but they're not.
Seriously, it's like Fruit Ninja.
I'm gonna check it out and see if I can find it. But anyways, you were saying.
Yeah. Anyways, so after school bus territory, once again, you guys can tell what kind of review you're getting yourselves into, considering the fact that if we're not ripping on each other, we generally like the movie. But they get to the Tara Reid's house, and apparently she is so stoned out of her mind, she had no idea that the city is under threat by a rainstorm, much less a shark storm.
I just found the entire movie of Attack of the Killer Tomatoes on YouTube.
Well, I guess I know what we're watching later on.
I'm still watching this tonight when I eat my food.
Shit.
Anyways.
Screw Pierre Kirby. I'm watching that shit later on.
So I linked what you just said. What did you say?
I just said, so they get to the Tara Reid's house, and she is so stoned out of her mind that she isn't even aware of the fact there's a gigantic like monsoon that's heading its way to California. Not even the sharks withstanding a weather disaster.
I know.
And she's more concerned to make sure her daughter having a little something going on.
Yeah, she opens the door. She's like, "What are you doing here?" And he's like,
"Oh, and first of all, they're standing there covered in blood."
I know. She's like,
"Shotgun girl." I mean, it's like something out of a Ridley Scott movie, and then you have Tara Reid.
Well, he was like, "Let me in." She goes, "No." So absent. No. What are you doing here? Oh my god.
There's like a 2-second delay before she even responds too. Like she's trying to process what he says.
No.
That was the Uncle Bill reaction, just waiting to happen.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I also love how the same scene. Okay, so at first she's like, "You can't be in here. What are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here." And then after that, she watches her boyfriend get eaten. They get out of the house. She's like, "Finn," because the house is collapsing.
And she suddenly goes from like this little cast iron bitch to the damsel in distress. Another overused trope in a sci-fi horror movie.
I know, dude. Like 1 minute she's like, "I can't stand you and I hate you," and then she's like, "No, Finn, please."
No, anything. Once again, I mean, I kind of, as we talked about our like the reject superheroes, like from one of our earlier texts. My God, if Dick Hammer showed up and just throat punched a shark, that would make everything that much better.
You know what I just realized is did they ever explain what happened between him and Tara Reid and their family? Like, is there a reason
never explained anything about anybody, whether it was Finn, Tara, the kids. There was nothing. It was literally the movie was just shot completely in the present. But unlike most movies where you have the idea to kind of extrapolate and come up with your own conclusions, this had nothing to do with it. You couldn't, because the characters were so static and unmemorable, you couldn't piece anything together.
Yeah, because I just realized like the daughter hates his guts, but they never explained what happened. Like, did he cheat on them with Shotgun Girl? Is that why everybody hates his guts? Or did he leave because Tara Reid was a 3 o'clock red wine mom? Like, what's going on?
There's maybe she cheated on him. Who knows? I mean, there was no explanation for any backstory for any of the characters. So you really just like, okay, we're just looking at like a spoonful of rice pudding. I mean, no, I know I take it back. A spoonful of rice pudding is probably a little nicer than Tara Reid.
I like rice pudding.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is rice pudding has got nutritional value behind it. This movie didn't.
You know, I just remembered.
Oh God, here it comes.
The part where their car was gonna blow up, so they all get out running and like fucking see Tara Reid just like she's in her like 3-inch like 6-inch stilettos and she's all prancing around as the car blows up behind her. And it's all like epic and shit.
Oh, I know. And she's like trying not to fall off her shoes and break her ankles during that part.
If she fell, she'd break her whole body. Let's be honest, if she's snapping out. No, but like most movies have this like really like they always do that cliche like walking away from an explosion behind them or like they're running as something explodes. Tara Reid is just like prancing like daintily as she like a car explodes behind her, and the explosion wasn't even big. It was like pew.
Seriously, it was kind of like pew, you know, like
kind of like a guy who really likes you and he's really nervous, you know, and he didn't mean to. He's so sorry. Please don't tell the other guys. You don't get what I'm referencing, do you?
No, I don't.
Family Guy.
I haven't seen Family Guy in years.
There's a Family Guy snippet where this volcano is talking to this island. He's like making small talk and he just kind of like bursts. And he goes, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." He's like, "That never happens. I'm just so nervous. You're just so pretty." And then he's like, "Please don't tell the other guys." Like premature ejaculation. Like premature ejaculation, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
That was the joke I was making. The car was like a pew. No.
Kind of like a certain individual you know, if somebody gets ever so much as wants to sponsor their podcast.
Oh, we know several people who want their podcast sponsored.
Yeah, let's not even go into that.
We also know several people who are desperate for love.
Yeah, that's kind of like the Wonder Twins in our circle. Anyway, so whose idea was it that thinking that they could pull a Donald Trump and blow up the Sharknados? Whose idea was that? His?
Because the plot said so.
Well, yeah, but who came up with that idea?
I bet you they're writers on manatees. No joke.
Hey, manatees are gentle creatures. Swim constantly, eat nothing but greens, still fat as hell.
You know the reference I'm talking about, right?
No.
Okay, like pretty much most of my humor is references and you don't get it. What kind of nerd are you? Too busy writing your little Dungeons and Dragons essay for the class to be taken seriously with your checkered pants. Boogie, please. It's a South Park reference.
This is coming from somebody who listens to nothing but pop music like Britney and is more concerned about, you know, playing retro video games and trying to look pretty for the camera as opposed to coming up with real nerd references because anything she comes up with is after the year 2000.
What? Did you see the last video where I wore no makeup and had no hair done? So you can take that and shove it up your ass.
Are you calling me a butt puppet now?
No. No. Let's get on with the review.
Yeah, let's. So we watched a movie. We couldn't tell. So
it was pretty interesting.
Compared to God's Not Dead.
Like I said, God's Not Dead just really pissed me off because it was bad for the wrong reasons. But Sharknado was bad for the good reasons, I think.
It really was. I mean, it was just like. But I mean, they came with the idea that by just shooting napalm into the 2 or 3 different Sharknados, which, by the way, Shotgun Girl has never fired like a grenade launcher or an RPG in her life, even though she can handle a shotgun like a pro.
Well, okay, so it gets because like tornadoes are just fucking circular wind. Like wind, okay, so this is common knowledge. I don't know if you know this, but we can't see air.
Yeah.
So therefore, we can't attack air. So therefore, you can't drop a bomb into a tornado and
can't
kill it.
Plus, have you ever heard the phrase "try and capture a hurricane with a butterfly net"?
I mean, fucking like, hypothetically, if you drop, like, let's go with Trump here, like, you drop a nuke in there, the only thing it's gonna do is like
and then it goes flying off in the distance like a highlight tournament and then blows some other state up from a distance. You know, I kind of want to see that happen in actuality, like MythBusters trying to bust Sharknado, so they drop like a regular bomb into like that and seeing how far the canister goes down the runway.
The fact that we have a president who even suggested it is beyond me, honestly.
Seriously, this is a horror movie in its own self.
Well, I don't know. It was like more like trying to be an action flick, I felt.
Yeah, this definitely was trying to be
It's like,
action.
well, because scary movies they have horror elements, but this one was like mostly action, like, especially Shotgun Girl. She's like, step aside, I got this.
Seriously.
And then go and beat them with a shotgun.
Like, I wanted to hear her call, like, Australian boy Cupcake, like, before she just, like, rams her shotgun in the gills of one of the sharks. Like, some patronizing comment aimed at, like, the chauvinistic douchebag that was Australian dude. Before he got his balls ripped off, literally, by the shark.
Speaking of the Australian dude, remember how I was like, is he even Australian? Because I could hear his accent, like,
it kept tweaking. It kept ebbing and flowing.
Yeah. Like, 1 minute he would be Australian, but the next it sounded American. So I was like, he's not even Australian. I looked him up, and sure enough, he's Australian. So I'm like, I've never heard an Australian person's accent. Like,
no. It's always been consistent, no matter which country I've talked to people from. It's never wavered.
Yeah, and the fact that his makes me question a lot of things.
I mean, even John Boyega, who played Finn in the latter Star Wars movies, his accent was still relatively profound through the entire course.
Well, I mean, everyone's accents are relatively coarse throughout the whole. I mean,
yeah.
But like,
well, I mean, even Idris Elba, who can do a myriad of different accents, he's British.
Well, and that's the thing, though. It's sad when a professional actor can keep like an accent solid through a whole movie, whereas an Australian person can't keep his own accent solid through a whole movie. Because I swear he sounded American in like several shots.
Yeah, there were some scenes where he legitimately sounded like as American as apple pie.
As American as apple pie. That's the stupidest. That's like the stupidest phrase I've ever heard in my life.
Thanks. I've missed you too.
Let's not go that far.
Hey, I've been sick this past week, mind you, so my snarkitude has been like at a disconnect.
Yeah, I'll try not to hurt your feelings anymore. I'm sorry.
Fuck you too.
You want to, but your finger is like weirdly long enough.
Well, unlike other men who can't find the G-spot, I'm pretty good at tracking you down because I've got long fingers.
God, you're just like, I feel like you're just the human version of a grasshopper, like in so many ways. Like you have the long bendy legs and like you have a long neck like a giraffe and these long fingers like you're really creepy, you know that? No,
thank you. I appreciate that. Go burn in hell.
But I reign there. What are you talking about? Like,
okay, whatever.
Can't have rage without a fire. Just saying.
Dang it, Bobby. That girl ain't right. Anyways, so.
Dang it, Bobby.
Anyways, so they somehow come up with the conclusion to blow up the Sharknadoes, and at the same time, Finn gets eaten. At the very, not Finn, Shotgun Girl gets eaten.
She gets eaten, but he gets eaten too.
Yeah, that was it.
Oh my god, and that's another thing is like his daughter is just standing there, and you see the shark coming at her, and he fucking pushes her out of the way, but he's still running. So in other words, she was nowhere near the shark coming at her. He just saw it and he pushed her out of the way and ran into it. Like he willingly ran into its mouth.
Seriously, I just love that scene though where you just see him just go straight into the shark's mouth and then like cuts his way out with a knife, like Crocodile Dundee.
No, it was a chainsaw, I thought.
Oh yeah.
Because he ran into it with a chainsaw. So by logic, the second he was devoured, he should have cut his way through.
Seriously.
But instead, he just kind of like laid there. And then there's Tara Reid screaming Finn on the side.
You know what part that reminds me of? At the end of Men in Black, when Tommy Lee Jones gets eaten by the bug so he can get his gun back.
I haven't seen
that. Oh, sweet Jesus in the garden.
Oh, please, you didn't get my freaking Family Guy and South Park references. Be gone.
We'll work on it.
We should. Anyways,
We probably will. I mean, this people are gonna be watching this. People are gonna watch this and be going, "Wow, these people really hate each other."
They're gonna be like, these people have problems, especially the guy in drag. I'm joking.
They'll speak for there. You go, right there. No,
I'm calling myself a man. Anyway.
I'm well aware. I was affirming that.
Oh, thank you. As I was saying, giraffe neck. So yeah, and then also when he fucking cut himself out of the shark. Don't fucking try and have a good time. Anyways.
Oh my god.
When he cut himself out of the shark, he fucking turns around and he pulls out the shotgun girl.
Yes.
Because, okay, she was okay, so the shark ate her. Like, I don't know how long it was, but by the time he would have pulled her out, she would have been like long dead.
Yeah, and like well on her way of being digested.
Yeah, she would have been suffocated, like long time suffocated. So the fact that he pulled her out and she wasn't even like,
or burned partially by the acid and the bile and the antibodies and shit like that. There's a myriad of things that would have had her dead within minutes.
Seriously, she would have suffocated. She would have been fucking melting, like literally melting alive. Fucking, but he pulled her out and she was fine. And she like she woke up like immediately too. Like, it's one thing to pass out from lack of oxygen.
Well, yeah.
Another to be pulled out. Like, just by logic, she should have been dead.
Seriously. And then she's like, then of course, then Sun brother, because I mean, he pretty much looks like he's Finn's age.
They all were each other's age. It was so
yeah.
weird.
So Sun brother wakes her up like it's it's something out of, Sleeping Beauty, and she's like,
he kissed her with all that blood in her mouth, and I was like, ew. I was like, I don't care if you love someone, you don't kiss someone with like blood on their, like, that's disgusting.
That's when you'd be like, bitch, take a shower.
Like, even if it was me with blood spewed on me, I would not expect anyone to kiss me because that is disgusting. Like, you don't do that. And
somebody pulls out a shitload of handkerchiefs and starts wiping your face off.
Smearing it even more. That was so disgusting.
Smears all over the place.
Oh, and it was gross because, like, when he kissed her, like, you could see it on his lips, and it was, like, red all over it.
Oh, I know. I was like, wow. Somebody's torn up.
Well, if he's not affected by blood, she's going to be a happy woman every day of the month.
So he's going to be like Detroit. He's going to earn his Red Wings every month.
I have a meme I need to show you.
Oh, no.
I think you'll like it.
Oh, I have no doubt.
Well, we're friends on Facebook. You can look it up yourself.
Yeah, I'll check. It's on your Facebook. I'll look it up then.
I have a whole photo album dedicated to memes. It's called Awesomeness. Just go through it and you'll see what I mean, and you'll know it. So it's Bear Grylls, that survivalist guy, and he's got blood over his face. And then look for that one.
I always knew we were going to be very good friends from the start. But
I didn't. I'm just joking.
No, you're not. You're being partially serious. But the movie ends with them facing down this carnage. We've been talking about this for over an hour now. About facing down the carnage of LA, and then it just cuts to the credits.
Yeah, the last scene where it looked like they survived a nuclear apocalypse, and then like they didn't explain how the Sharknado formed, why it formed, their past. None of it was like, oh no, we're two people and we need to go find these other people, and oh my god, look, there's a school bus full of kids, we should go save them, and oh my god, look, there's our son. It was so stupid. Oh my god. And then the way that one chick she was swept up by the air.
Oh yeah. Would you get flying up through the roof at the plane hangar? That was absolutely amazing. I love that part so much.
That was such a 90s effect because like she was completely standing still and all of a sudden just like goes right up, like doesn't, like her body doesn't ragdoll or anything. She just
yeah, like in a slow J curve going up through the roof. That was easily my favorite scene in the entire movie.
I'm gonna watch this tonight. Actually, I want to watch it again. Honestly, it was really good.
Definitely should.
God, that was funny. But yeah, there that movie. it was a much needed improvement over the fucking God's Not Dead, because that series just pissed me off.
Well, yeah. I mean, we only have one more to see. But
in due time, I want to see some more Sharknado.
well, no, I mean, yeah, we'll definitely see it. But overall, this movie, it's meant for people who love the trash genre. You aren't going in with any expectations. The whole point is for you just to sit there and laugh and shake your head and just go, what the actual blue fuck?
Sharknado 3 is called Oh Hell No.
Oh, yeah, I saw that when I was looking at thumbnails. But yes, any final thoughts you have?
Sharknado has 4.5 stars out of 5, so I highly recommend it.
Yeah, it was probably all people who work for the asylum.
Still better than fucking God's Not Dead. So for my final verdict, I say honestly, it was fun to watch. It really was.
Yeah.
Like, there's two types of people in this world. There's people who like to watch and enjoy movies, and then there's people who like to critique and criticize movies as they go for the fun of it. And if you're someone like that, like me, this is a good watch.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even if you're a movie snob or movie critic or just somebody who likes flicks in general, even something as bad as this, you know it's so self-aware that you just can't help but have fun with it because they know that they had fun with it. They're not an over-seriously company like, say, Uwe Boll or Michael Bay or those directors that do take themselves too serious and still really shitty quality. This one, at least, you're kind of like, this is hilarious for all the wrong reasons, but you're in for a romp.
It's a parody of itself, and they know it too. So
it's 100% self-aware. But great, thank you so much for recommending it, Ray. As always,
yeah,
good movie. Your commentary is hilarious as per usual. Good to get back into snarking.
I still think maybe we should try a review where we're watching it in the moment, because I feel like a lot of our best snark moments are actually when we're watching the movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's but it's your channel.
We could try to do it while we're watching the movie without running the risk of copyright slaps.
Maybe if you just turn the volume down so that
we'll experiment.
I was gonna say maybe if there's some way where you could just have it, because you don't edit too, and that's hard. So
yeah, exactly. We'll figure things out as we go, but that's a good focus. I do feel like a lot of our snarkitude really just blows up when we're actually watching the movie.
Maybe you could record us while we're actually watching the movie, and all they hear is the background noise, but you can't tell what movie it is.
I mean, we could do that for the latter Sharknados. We get 2 good Sharknados in a solid review, and then we could just have fun for the remaining 3, 4, 5 of them.
Might as well.
Might as well go over the top. But once again, Ray, thank you so much for doing the review with me. It was a lot of fun. For those of y'all that aren't following Ray, I'll put a link in the description below to her YouTube channel. Hilarious, snarky, plays a lot of fun games. Overall good person to be around and get to know.
I've also been told by a coworker I'm a dick, so
that's subject to speculation.
I'm a dick. I like to be mean.
Well, you like to be snarky, and there's a difference.
I'm a dick snarky.
Okay, Meredith Brooks.
Oh. All right. Well, thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no problem. And once again, big thank you to Christoph Ray for being a sponsor of the Boogie Night Project. If you like excellent poly horror games with a focus and emphasis on character, story, things like that, go check him out. Links in the description below. So, of course, with that being said, before I call it a session, if you like the Boogie Night Project and you want to find out more, I do have a Twitter page as well as a public Discord channel. And links to both of those are also in the description below, as well as a link to my temporarily defunct Twitch page. And, of course, if you're morbidly curious and don't have some money you actually want to give to a proper cause, you have my Patreon. Otherwise, I hope you all have a fantastic evening, and I'll catch you on the flip side, all right? Peace.
Bye.